Alright, hello and welcome to my auction. This is an auction for the ATEM Mini Pro ISO, which I purchased a few years ago. The ATEM Mini Extreme ISO came out a few months later and I ended up purchasing that, and that has been my main switcher. So this one has basically been a backup switcher that I've never used for that purpose, so I've only used it for a couple of months just in the studio trying to figure out how the things work. And so the purpose of this video is just to show you that all the buttons work so that you can purchase with confidence. I'm going to turn on picture-in-picture first of all so that you can still see the switcher as I press buttons. So I'm going to switch to input number 1, which is actually a camera looking excuse me, looking at the TV that I'm watching. It has it shows all the different inputs. In fact, let me just move one thing out of the way here. So basically all the different inputs are visible, plus what is live. That's the program in the upper left. You can rearrange all that. But anyway, this is showing that both this button works right here and the output. So the output is working. So alright, so number 2 is actually what we were looking at originally. Number 3 is an Apple TV with a Fireplace app running. Here's the volume on that. And then number 4 is my computer is plugged in. So while we're here, what I want to do is test the buttons for the microphones. So we currently have microphone 2 on, and and you can actually see it live right here. I'm going to press this up and down button. You'll see the volume go up and the volume go down. So these two buttons work, and then that was the off button. I'm going to turn it off and turn on mic number 1. Alright, mic number 1 is now active, and I'm going to turn it up and then turn it back down, and then I will turn it off, and I'm going to go over to, so what this is, these are, if there's any sound coming from the cameras or computers that are plugged into these inputs, then turning this on will provide those sounds. So I'm going to turn this off, turn this one on. So this is one of my cameras, and volume up, volume down, that works. And then I'm going to turn it off, turn on this is the microphone that's built into the overhead camera that's actually showing this. We'll go volume up, volume down, and then when I press number 3, that's going to be the fireplace. So turn this on, this off, turn this on. So you should be hear the fire crackling, going up, going down, and then we'll turn that off. And then finally, number 4, this is actually my computer. So what I'm going to do is just bring a little audio clip that, let's go down here to where you can see that, and I'm going to play that. Whoops, I need to output that to that particular, there we go. Now you'll see that play, so we'll take that back, whoops, play it. So, and then volume up, volume down, volume up. So those should be controlling that. Yeah, they are. All right, let me just do that one more time. Play, volume up, volume down, and anyway, so those buttons are working. AFV is audio follows video. So when you turn that on, then it only switches that microphone on if that particular input is active. So if I press number 1 and then switch it to the main screen, you turn that off. So you should be hearing that one. If I turn on AFV for input number 2, you should be hearing it because it's actually the camera that's looking at this. AFV for number 3 will only you'll only start hearing the flames if I switch to it. whoops, there's 3. And so you should be hearing the flames now. Let's turn that off. And then number 4, that should only, if I start playing that little audio thing, it's playing, but now when I switch to it, you should hear it for a second. Now switch away. I'm going to turn that off. All right. Picture in picture we'll come to in a minute because that's going to change the size of this, what we're actually looking at here. I'm going to do the different wipes. So I've currently been using a dissolve, which is called a mix. I'm going to change this to a wipe, horizontal wipe, vertical wipe. Dip will go white and then back to the other color, and you might be able to change what color that is. These two right here only work if the picture-in-picture is off. So I'm going to turn the picture-in-picture off, and then I'm going to do these 2 wipes, which are a little more dynamic. So off, press 1, and then press number 2. That does kind of a squeeze. Press number 1, and then we'll go turn, get away from that and switch that back on. So the picture-in-picture only works if these two things are not selected. So anyway, and that I think that had to do with actually what those were. So that this doesn't work if this is on. All right. This button right here is going to start recording all of the inputs. So this is an ISO recorder. It's actually an option. So if I come into the settings of the software and go to output, when I do that, let's see, where am I looking at over here? This box is checked where it says ISO record all inputs. So if this box is checked, then it records all of the inputs and all of the both microphones and all of the audio coming into each one of the inputs. So anyway, that's what record is for. That's you will need to purchase an SSD drive for that to work properly. So I'm going to go ahead and turn that off for now. This is what's allowing me to stream to YouTube right now. So I'm going to turn it back on. So anyway, there's probably a little blip there. This section right here determines what's being shown on the TV that's plugged in. So it's currently the multi-view. So I'm going to switch to the TV, which is on input number 1, and then press the different buttons. So that's the first thing. Whoops. So when you show itself, then it freaks out and starts getting brighter and brighter. Number 3 is the fireplace. Number 4 is the computer. There's the multi-view again. And then this shows what's live. So if I had something else on there when I did that, it wouldn't be so crazy. Whoops. I need to do that. So that's showing what's live. And anyway. All right. This button right here, you're going to want to stay away from that, but it makes everything go black. And so anyway, that's what that does. These 4 buttons right here determine how long those transitions last. So that's a half a second. 1 second, which is my favorite. 1.5 seconds. And then 2 seconds. All right, I'm going back to 1. You can also press cut, which just switches immediately from one thing to the other with no transition time. All right, let's go back to this one. All right, these 4 buttons right here are picture-in-picture, which we currently is what you're seeing right here. So when I press this, it's going to make it much smaller and put it in the different corners. You can make it big again by using the palettes and adjusting those things inside here. I purchased a program which if you have a Mac or an iPhone or an iPad, you can actually control this from a program called Mix Effect, which I really like a lot. And oops, I'm going to actually put this right here again, and then scale it so that it gets big. There we go. And I think we might have pressed every button. Oh, the only thing we haven't done. Let's go back to audio here. The reset buttons here are, you'll watch these sliders right here when I press them. Reset, 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 reset. So it set all the volume levels of the inputs to some predetermined volume. And we didn't do still, I don't think. Still will bring a graphic of your choice on the screen, and then black will fade to black. So let's go here, let's turn that off, let's make that live. So anyway, I think I've got all the buttons pressed. Everything is working fine. I've hardly used it at all. Also, the Ethernet jack is plugged in, so that's how it's been streaming to the internet, and also communicating with my computer to be able to show what was on the screen here. So anyway, if you're still interested, place a bid or hit buy it now. And thank you so much for watching, and best wishes.